A flag day on the streets of Limerick and Uganda in Africa. What's the connection? Well, after a long and savage civil war in this East African country, its people are still rebuilding their lives. The Ugandans need livestock, heifers and cows, so Boher, an Irish charity, sends them from Ireland. The boys from CBS Limerick live 4,000 miles from Uganda, but they're raising money to send animals to Africa.
They used to think of ideas to raise money for Boher. Has anyone got any ideas on fundraising?
Right. What about a table tennis, Martin, since it's so popular inside here in the school?
Has anyone got any other ideas?
They also do a soccer match in below in the hall, using the same thing
And
on the weekend.
Is there an interest in the school in soccer?
Yeah, there's a lot of interest because people are playing for clubs, like, and it's a good game.
Has anyone got any other idea? No?
Yeah.
David?
I was wondering about a disco. You might hold it down in the media room with Mr. Kelly's permission.
The CBS boys aren't just fundraisers. They're taking a full interest in the project. And today, they're travelling to a farm outside Limerick, where a heifer is being donated by a local farmer.
Or do we need to get cards? Cardboard. Who can get the card? Shop. Okay, right. So somebody's going to get the card.
We discovered this project that has been going on from the US and the UK to third world countries, where they actually introduce dairy cows to people, and they give one dairy cow per family. They teach the family how to look after the cow, and with that, the family is given an opportunity to lift itself up out of its poverty. But we've found since we established a few months ago that once you give people the basis of the project, that they can understand quite quickly. And here we are today now with a bunch of lads from CBS, most of whom are from the city. And after they had been introduced to the concept, they said, yes, we'll get involved in this. We'll help send a cow to Africa.
You are being part of a very special development project run by the Limerick 300 Committee. So I want to congratulate you and I want to thank you for raising the fare that's in this beautiful Frisian heifer all the way to Uganda.
A lot of Africa is very suitable to livestock development. Uganda in particular now is a very high country. At its lowest point it's 4,000 feet. So the climate is very pleasant there. In fact, all year round it's got a climate of about 85 degrees, which is more or less like our warmer summers. So it's very suitable for European cattle. 20 families have been selected. The principal criteria for the selection is their state of poverty and their considered ability to look after an animal. The family then have been taught how to look after a cow. The cows will then be introduced to them 2 weeks after they fly out of Shannon. So in the passage of time, their heifers will have their first calf. They will then just look after the cow in the normal way, under supervision. We would hope that the cows that we'll be sending out there would on average give a yield of about 20 litres a day, whereas the native breed gives about 1 litre a day, while eating the same amount of grass. I mean, chronic poverty we're talking about here, you know. And you're giving them, first of all, an opportunity to help them stay alive, because your average Ugandan is maybe 20 to 25% underweight. And I think we here in Ireland don't realise the food value that's in milk. These people just can't get it. So immediately the family benefits from having a constant supply of milk for themselves. Then they can sell the surplus. Now in many cases this gives the family the very first opportunity they've ever had of getting an income. And in most cases that income would be used to send the kids to primary school, because in Uganda all schooling has to be paid for. So just by giving one cow to a family, it gives them an amazing opportunity to lift themselves up out of their poverty.
After the civil war in Uganda, agriculture was virtually destroyed. Most of the country's livestock was killed, and the remaining native cows produced no more than a litre of milk per day, and it's poor quality milk at that. During 1991, a small group from Boher visited Uganda to see how Irish cattle could help. TJ Maher, the Euro MP from Munster, went along as chairman of Boher. The group from Boher wanted to find out everything about the people of Uganda, so they could come home and sell the idea of donating cattle to Irish farmers like the Doodies.
From the beginning, I liked it because it was so positive that you're doing something and that in the giving and there's continuity, that you have a family, you know, that you're doing something, that you're giving them a chance to help themselves.
How do you feel about losing a heifer?
I had intended her for our own herd, but now she is going. When I heard of Boer and what we were going to do for the people in Uganda, well, I said, well, she can go there, you know.
For Archbishop Clifford, this project binds people in Ireland and Africa.
They're going to follow up. They're going to find out where the heifer has gone and how the heifer is thriving. Just as when people sold the heifer years ago to somebody 15 miles away, they always, you know, inquired and were anxious to find out. And I think that Tim Doody here and his family will know how that heifer is thriving, and they'll be happy. Maybe they'll make a rich man. Tim mightn't become a rich man himself, but he might make a rich man out in Uganda, of some farmer out there.
One cow sent from Ireland can double a family's income, can feed an average of 50 children their 1/3 of a pint of high-quality protein, can produce 4 jobs, can multiply to 10 cows in 10 years, can therefore lift as many as 40 families out of their present poverty in 10 years.
Out there, you know, when they get one cow, they consider themselves well on the way to being wealthy. I mean, having passed on the first heifer calf, which they're required to do under the scheme, the family can then keep all the other calves that the cow has and effectively build up their own herd. And indeed, when we were out there, we met one farmer who is now milking 3 cows, and he's on his way to being a wealthy man, and more power to him.
We got a very high response to the fundraising activities, and they were all very, very much accepted, and they went very well.
It's real now. We were just talking about it before, like, that it was just, we hadn't seen it and would it come true. But now we're thinking that it's coming true, like.
Yeah, it's very worthwhile, and I highly recommend it to any school. It's easy to organise. It takes a bit of hard work, but overall it's worthwhile.
Shannon Airport in early December. Boher is sending its first cargo of Irish heifers to Uganda, the climax of months of hard work by people in Limerick and all around Ireland. It costs £1,000 to send 1 cow.
We're going to send 100 there during 1992.
Peter, finally, if people want more information about Boher, how to get involved, what do they do?
We've got the easiest address in the book. It's number 77 O'Connell Street, Limerick. And our telephone number is 414142. That's it.